Hi, welcome to another tutorial from Cut Corner Studio. This is a very kind of brief overview of the relative positioning task that I've got set up as a tutorial on our site. As you can notice here through the recording window that at this moment in time I'm in draft mode at the moment. So once the video is done, we'll publish it and put it up on this page, and you'll be able to find it through the news section on our site at cutcorner.co.uk. If you find our video on YouTube, place a mini link which will be found in the description of this video. If you click on that link, you'll be able to find all the relative resources, to use a word, necessary resources for this tutorial, including links to web editors if you don't have one but are quite interested in the whole notion of playing with CSS and HTML. So what we're going to do today is we are going to look at the source file that you can download off the site, and just to make it a little bit more interesting and based off the comic book tutorials we've done in the past, we've just placed some images in to add a bit more focus on certain child elements so that we can kind of talk you through how relative positioning works. So to verbally explain, what we've set up here is a 960 by 960 square, which is classified as the parent div to the entire document. And within there we've set up 11 child elements, which are in some instances 320 by 320, like you can see here, which are your 9 squares here in the background. And then we've also set up 5 160 by 160 pixel elements as well, which you will notice from the screenshot in the tutorial are set up in this with this code, and it is really simple stuff. And relative positioning works through targeting certain classes that you then apply to a div, and from applying the correct positioning, you should be able to take real control over your web page when it comes to creating better formatted pages, which is obviously necessary. There's only so far you can go when you're putting everything one element next to each other or underneath each other. Relative positioning actually allows you to kind of go that one step further, and we're going to have a brief introduction on how to do that today. So as you can see, we've set this up 960 by 960. It works kind of almost like a pattern, so it makes it very clear to see. So working on this particular code here, you'll notice that I have assigned an image to spanbox 11, spanbox 9 and spanbox 7, but from looking at the order from 1 to 11, it's quite difficult to sort of translate why that is there and why that is there, possibly if you haven't played with relative positioning in the past. So I'm just going to give you a quick intro into doing that. For those of you who aren't the greatest mathematicians, and you may, getting your coordinates right, have a calculator handy. It can often speed the process up and make sure that your work is exact. But we're just going to work through a couple of examples to move these three icons with logos in them to kind of indicate how things work. Okay, so bearing in mind that when we start looking at relative positioning, we're looking at pixels from the top and pixels from the left of the parent element. So that will then, the coordinate we set from the left and from the top will impact on the far top element of the child, and also the left side of the child also. So right, let's get moving. So looking at spanbox 11, if we move on, we can see there that I've set a position of relative and top 1920 and left 0. So actually looking at the web page there, you can see that from the parent child, it's parent div, it's right on the edge, so left 0, and it's 1920 because there were so many divs here. It's right at the stack. If I didn't have the relative positioning, it would end up right at the bottom of this page. So what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to pull that across 160. So if I go left 160 pixels, and I'm just going to go File and Save, go back to my page, and as you can see now, I've just pushed that along. Again, if I added another 160, to this to make this left 320 pixels. Refresh again. See, I've now pushed the Batman logo towards the middle section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this Flash logo up this time, just to show you how this works. So my Flash logo is found within Spanbox 9. So if I scroll down, or scroll up, excuse me, I can see that the top is 1920. So if I was to add 160 to that, I'll end up with 2080. So I'm just going to place that in, and I'm going to go to File and Save. And if I refresh, up it goes. I'm going to bring the lantern down. So what I'm going to do is minus 160 from the lantern class, which is Spanbox 7. So if I scroll up to Spanbox 7 here, and I minus 160, it'll be 1760, or minus 1760 in this instance. If I go to File and Save, and refresh, there you are. See that the lantern logo has actually dropped 160 from the top. So that is basically a brief overview of how relative positioning works, and the task really is for you to go and have a look through this code, download it off the page, have a look at it, and play with the code, play with these coordinates, the top and left, and see what they do. If you don't get it right, just go edit and undo, and then go and start again, basically. Analyze that. Now, looking at the actual post itself, I've put logos in here, but you don't have to do that. The task itself is seeing whether you can get this particular sequence of colours to start in the top left and move down to the bottom right using orange, green, blue, pink and yellow in that order. And see if you can manipulate the relative positioning in such a way so that it does that. And so finally, just like to say thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, then please don't be afraid just to drop us a line and ask some questions. I mean, some of the questions we probably expect is how do we get this responsive? We've got plenty of answers to guide you in that particular area. If you found us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that we can that you get regular updates on what we're currently sharing in terms of project descriptions, and also some short beginner tutorials in particular for code and graphic design. So thanks very much, and thanks for watching.